Hello and welcome to Travel Insights brought to you by The Dope, where we present to you, our viewers, insights from veterans and visionaries of the travel industry. Every once in a while, our guests are the blue blood of the travel industry. People who are running legacy businesses started a generation or two before them, which they now lead to scale greater heights. Our guest today is one of them, a very well-traveled, a very articulate, well-read gentleman with over 25 years of industry experience. One who's very passionate about the travel industry in general and India as a destination in particular. Our guest today is Rajeev Kohli, Joint Managing Director, Creative Travel. Creative Travel is a family legacy of two generations that has showcased India to the world for the last 44 years. Following his strong family tradition and deep roots in the travel industry, Rajeev has significantly contributed to the development of the tourism industry at different levels. He has held various posts in industry associations, having been the president of the Society for Incentive Travel Excellence, or CITE, the senior vice president of the Indian Association of Tour Operators, or IATO, vice chairman of the Indian Convention Promotion Bureau, or CITP, and the president of the Indian chapter of the American Society of Travel Agents, or ASTA. Currently, Rajeev is the president for the term 2020-2022 of the Global DMC Alliance, one of the oldest in the industry, called EuroMake. Rajeev is also a member of the Confederation of Indian Industry, or CII's National Committee of Tourism. He has a master's in business from the University of Southern California with specializations in marketing and entrepreneurship, and is an undergraduate from with an honors degree from Delhi University in economics. He is also a certified incentive specialist, CIS, a certified incentive travel professional, which is CITP, and a destination management certified professional, or DMCP. Rajeev speaks at various industry forums across the world and has many articles and thought papers published under his name. So let's welcome Rajeev. Welcome, Rajeev. Pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Amish. I'm blushing. That was a little too much about me. I like to be a little humble, but thank you.
Not at all. Yeah, at Dope, we believe in speaking the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I had to present it this way.
Thank you.
So Rajeev, 25 years in the industry, a 44-year-old company with a tremendous brand name. Tell us a little bit about your past and your journey in the industry, and how do you think the travel industry has evolved over these 25 years that you have been a part of it?
So I grew up in the business. My father opened the first ever office of an Indian travel company in Europe, in Germany, in the 1960s, and I was born there. Wow. Went on to open the first ever office of a travel company in the Americas, north-south, where I lived till I was about 7.5 and 8, until he brought us back to what was then a very restricted, socialist, backward country in the late 70s. And that started the roots of what I am. My education, I was fortunate to go to one of the best schools in Delhi. And when I was studying, my dream was to be an architect. That's what I wanted to be. I love design. I'm passionate about graphics. And I think I would have made a damn good architect. But someone along the way told me, and I even did engineering drawing in the last 2 years of school. As you know, in India, we have to choose whatever subjects we want to do. I did engineering drawing, and but someone said, Rajeev, your eyes are going to be too weak to do architecture. So I gave up that dream, which today I know was bad advice. But I gave up that dream and went to study economics at Delhi University, went on to get my MBA with a specialization in entrepreneurship and marketing. And when I graduated in America, the American economy was weak. It was in a downturn. And I didn't get my dream job, which was to be at Disney. I mean, the best marketing company in the world. And I decided to come home. I came home, no aim what to do, moped around for about 6-8 weeks and went to the office. My parents never asked me to join the business. So it wasn't that, son, go study, come back, join the business, the great old Indian family business way. No. I joined the business and it's been 25 years. it's been a great journey. And I tell people, when I joined, Creative Travel was a very small company like everybody else of that time. I mean, the biggest company in India in the mid-90s was Sita with a 25 crore rupee turnover, which today is very small. And I had the best teacher in the world, which was my father. Okay. And his training, his guidance, his scolding, his love, his example has allowed me to do what I have done today, much of what you have read and a lot more. And to take Creative Travel to be probably the most prominent privately owned, family owned brand in incoming tourism today in the country.
So in terms of changes, I mean, what have you seen, in terms of the infrastructure which was available when you joined, for a travel professional, to the infrastructure available now? Technology, of course, I guess 25 years back would have been practically non-existent. So what are the changes you've seen?
Interesting. When I came back in 94, in the middle of 94, I brought back the first ever boxed version of Microsoft Windows.
Wow.
Okay. And I thought might have been the first one in India, the very few ones that came to India, because Windows was launched first quarter of 1994, and I brought it back when I came in June, July. And my team revolted. They went to my parents and says, of course, this mouse doesn't have a wire, but mouses traditionally have wires. What is this thing Rajeev is making us do? India was not a computer savvy destination what it is today. I remember a few years ago, we moved offices 4 years ago, and I was looking through old papers, and I was looking at the tariff of the Oberoi Delhi at 1,200 rupees a night.
Dream come true.
Times have changed. I mean, this country has evolved, and I have been so fortunate to grow up in a generation which has seen that transformation, no matter what it is. I remember going on a trip one day, coming back, and on the Delhi-Gurgaon highway, all the trees had gone. And I mean, everything you see in Gurgaon today, we moved to Gurgaon in 1993 when this was still farmland, forest land, and everything you see today is 15, 18 years and much younger. Tourism has been no different. The Taj Mahal is still the Taj Mahal, the Qutub Minar is still there, the Janta Ellora still exists. But our ability to service the global tourism industry and the domestic tourism traveler has evolved beyond our imagination. I remember, one of the most significant things, Creative is a player at the premium end in the market. We're not in the mass market of business. We're not in backpackers or beach tourism. I remember when the Oberoi Raj Vilas was opening. It was a top secret project. Even the head of sales had not seen what was going on inside. And Mr. Vicky Oberoi kept it under wraps. And all of us said, with all respect, that the man's gone crazy. Who the hell is going to spend that type of money? And the Oberoi Raj Vilas opened. And it opened at exactly $20 more expensive than then King of the Hill, the Rambagh Palace. Okay? The first ever group which stayed at the Oberoi was a group from us. I remember Vikram Oberoi, who I admire very much, was in our office. He knew we had this group from America and told us to take, he wanted the group, he took it. It required 12 single rooms, 12 twin rooms. And the Oberoi never had twin rooms until like 2 years ago. He gave 12 rooms free because he wanted us to experience it. And that's what builds relationships. And that has transformed India tourism today. Where we were a country where we were hesitant of charging a 3-digit and an early 3-digit dollar figure from an international traveler, today selling rooms at $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a night, we don't flinch. Okay, our infrastructure in airports is amazing. Our flights, we have a domestic air capacity which most other countries envy. Mm-hmm. And I was speaking to a client recently, and I said, you know what? 10, 15 years ago, I was battling for a room from a German against a Brit against an American. Today, all you white guys are battling against the brown guys because an Indian spends much more than you do in a hotel. And we are just so different in this industry. Technology is just one little aspect. Mm-hmm. Amish, you and I probably are from the same generation. Yes. I have my kids teaching me what to do on a computer and a phone, and I feel like such an old foggy right now. And that wasn't the case before. It's an amazing transformation we've had.
creative travel, when you got in, what was the, like, say, the staff strength? What kind of business were you doing, and how much have you grown the business since the last 25 years?
So when I joined, maybe we were 15, 20 people. We were in a small office in, when I joined, we were in Motibag. We used to be in Vasant Fair. I started out of a garage, which my parents had in their house when they came back from the US. Today, we're 175 people, 4 different brands. We moved into a 50,000 square feet corporate headquarters in Gurgaon 3.5 years ago. And today, we are selectively going after business that we want to handle. Now, everyone along their careers, along their journeys, have choices to make. Take whatever that comes by you, do whatever that comes by you. And it's only when you reach a certain point of maturity, physically, personally, financially, can you say, you know what the hell? I won't take this cheap business, or I won't take this 3-star business. And we've been doing that. And that's not arrogance. It's that along the journey, what we discovered is what we want to be when we want to grow up, which was an expert and experiences at the higher end of the market. Now, luxury is a very abused word. I do not believe luxury lies in the quality of hotels. And I tell my friends, your 400, 600 thread count bed covers, your great soaps and bathrooms are not luxury for the man spending $600, $700 a night, because that's his everyday life. Okay? Luxury lies in the experience. Luxury lies in the simplicity. Luxury lies in the discretion. And we decided we wanted to be a company that was known for being different. So today, when I look, where does Creative Travel stand? The largest company in the country probably has 20, 30 times our passenger volume, but probably sits in the 4 or 5 times our revenue.
Okay.
So we're very clear in what type of business we want to do. Doesn't mean we won't help our partners with more affordable business. It's just that we're going after partners because we're a B2B company. We work with travel companies around the world. We go after partners who share the same ideology in investing time and effort in getting customers, travelers who appreciate the destinations.
And what about incentive? When did you start getting into the MICE segment of the business?
Yeah, so I joined the Society for Incentive Travel Excellence somewhere back 15, 17 years ago, give or take, maybe 18. And I attended my first ever global conference of CITP, which is the Global Association for the Incentive Industry, in 2005. And then I got hooked. It was in Toronto at the Sheraton Centre, a very large hotel. And I was blown away by seeing for the first time in my life see-through acrylic furniture. I mean, you see these flowers behind me, multiply this 1,000 times. That ballroom was beyond your imagination. And this goes back in 2005, where we Indians, yes, we were exposed, we were traveled, but we had never seen levels like that. And I was hooked. I applied for our first global award in 2007 for incentives. We won. We have now 7 what they call Psyche Crystal Awards, which is the highest awards globally for the incentive industry. I joined the board of Psyche in 2012 and went on to become the first Asian ever to be president, but also the first president to be asked to do 2 terms, because I ended up leading the team with my board to restructure Psyche from the back end, and I discovered a passion for doing incentives. And I am proud of my team because we are by far one of the best in the industry for what we do. I thrive personally on doing things no one has ever done before. And I have at least 3-4 projects which are first of its kind in mankind.
Can you give us an example just to know? I mean, I'm very, very curious. I'm sure the viewers are.
3 favorite examples.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, taking 28 Spaniards, serving them champagne, ham, and cheese at 14,500 feet, facing Mount Everest in the Himalayas. It took 8 months of planning, 9 hours to operate for 28 people. It was a mind-blowing and expensive. That time, $3,000 a person. That time, this goes back 2007, 8, 9. Second, a thali service for 750 people.
Wow.
Okay? Never been done before. Now, maybe the Maharajas of the past used to do this, but I asked around, I do my research. Had never been done in modern India before. And I went around saying, you know what, no hotel in the world can do this. So, who in the world feeds high volume of people at the highest quality level? Companies catering to high-end Indian weddings.
Right.
Okay, so I found this gentleman, Lalit Tuli Tandoori Nights, I'll give him the plug over here, who was first very reluctant to speak to us, corporate events, because, you know, Amish, Indian weddings are the ultimate of events. Yes. It was off-season for weddings. He agreed and he delivered. It was flawless. The third we just did in the Maldives about 2 years ago, 180 people. The largest project ever done in the Maldives. We won our last global award for that. 7 tons of cargo across 8 hours on high seas, of equipment, a Bollywood dance troupe bought out in Ireland. It was a very expensive project. Again, it took us 2 years to plan. Never been done before. And I love this business because you end up doing amazing things, mind-blowing things with other people's money. So what's better than that?
Right. So you've really built up creative from where it was to where it is today. So I guess you can turn out in a way and say that you are an architect. You have eventually been the architect of the growth of the company. So,
it's been teamwork.
yeah.
I don't take credit all to myself. It's been teamwork.
Yeah.
There has been family and my team behind it. But I've been one part of the machine.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's assume this interview is happening in January 2020. What was your take on what the business would be like over the next 2 years?
Oh, we would have closed 2020 with about an 8-10% increase. Okay, I mean, we lost close to $2 million, if not more, just in the March-April area.
Right.
Okay, we would have been launching new product lines. We are part of 2 global luxury consortiums, which were on the roll to increase business. So we were on track to solidify our dominance as a credible brand in this destination.
So the COVID-19 hit is like really massive. I mean, of course, we all know it, but you also feel it that way. And how do you think now the industry needs to work towards getting over it as we approach, hopefully, the end of the curve of COVID? How do you think one should look at it?
When we started the whole process back in March, I was on a lot of sessions like this. I did a lot of writing, a lot of speaking, a lot of lobbying to keep industry hopes up.
Right.
Morale has to be high. I wrote an article. If you Google Rajeev Kohli and Chicken Little, okay, it's in a platform called Site Motivate, about how you can't go around keep on saying the sky is falling, sky is falling. When you keep on saying the sky is falling, especially our industry leaders, then everyone starts believing that, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of doom. Today, sitting 5.5 months into lockdown, I'm still optimistic, but I am saddened for the damage that this virus has done. Okay, the loss of human life, of course, is not a debatable issue. India has done fairly well in the numbers. Now, even if you say the numbers are fake, which they are, I mean, they're fake all over the world.
Yes.
And if you say, look, our numbers are 5 times more, even then, for the population of the country, it's great. Our death rate is low. People, and you can't hide dead bodies in a country like India. We don't put them into the ground. We do the whole traditional deal. I think the industry globally has been scarred irreversibly. Okay, I think there are many companies across the industry who have taken this opportunity to resize, downsize. I mean, someone like the airlines, and let me take a name for an example purpose, but someone like British Airways would never in its wildest imagination have been able to lay off so many people in a good economy, given such a strong union environment it works in. It's done that. The cruise companies, the airlines. What I do want to say about Indians, yes, there has been downsizing, there has been retrenchment, especially on the more corporate owned entities, but our business globally, and especially in India, is more family-owned, owner-driven. The single conversation and the consistent conversation that all of us owners have been having since the start of the pandemic is only one. How do we save our employees? How do we keep our people employed? The problem is the government gave us no support. The government has acknowledged, from the Niti Aayog to the RBI to the Ministry of Finance, Commerce, Tourism, they have all acknowledged publicly, privately, that tourism has been badly affected. But we got nothing. And the only thing we asked for was payroll support.
Right.
We didn't ask, give me money, give me profits, give me a car. Payroll support. And today we're at a stage is that where all of us are at the wall. We have our backs to the wall. There is no more room to maneuver. And the next 30, 45, 60 days are critical. I know companies who have shut down. I think that is going to continue. I have dear friends who are going to look at this. I'm a time of my life. I am old enough to exit. I am still younger. I do see a runway for me to work. And I know we will come out of this as a company. It's going to be very tough. And it's going to be a new world. Is travel going to end? Absolutely not. Okay, the human being needs to travel. It's in our DNA. It's intrinsic. My team is still working on requests for 2021.
Oh, that's great news. Yeah, that's lovely.
So I just want the government to let us open and then leave us to ourselves. If they're not giving us money, if they're not helping us, let us start our business. Let people come in, and then we see how do we survive.
And what do you see in terms of the future for the MICE industry? I mean, by definition, it's to do with congregations, large groups traveling together. Do you think that is going to take a bit more time to really build up traction, or do you see some interest already coming in?
No, the major difference between the MICE industry and the leisure industry is who's making the purchase decision. On the leisure industry, it's the end traveler who's deciding, should I go to India? Should I go to London? Should I go to Australia? Yes or no? On the MICE decision, it's a company CEO, a committee, a board who's making a decision. And they do tend at times to be a little bit more risk averse. Right. Okay? I am still working on MICE requests for 2021 that have come in the past 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so there is optimism. You will find companies who are very conservative. And I think those companies will be ill-advised to kill incentive travel, because research has shown that incentive travel is the strongest form of motivation, because incentive travel is a human resource tool of motivation. It's not a travel product. Right. Travel is the delivery. Yes. Motivation is the goal. Right. You can give somebody money, and the site website has a lot of this research. You can give them someone money as a reward. You hit your target, here's money. But research has shown that they forget very fast where they spend that money, or they put it in the bank, or they pay off loans. Incentive travel, you can't take away the memories. Right. Corporate meetings, yes, can be done virtually. Will Zoom replace travel? No, because Zoom is not new.
Yeah, exactly.
Zoom has been around for almost a decade. I mean, these tools are not new. Yes. Polycon makes amazing conferencing equipment. It never replaced the need for travel. So maybe short term, but no. Association congresses and conventions, they will come back. For very simple reasons. Number one, it's mandatory in an association's bylaws. Number two, for any association, the conference and congress is the primary source for revenue generation to keep the association alive. You can't do that virtually. Okay? So they have but no choice to bring it back, and it will come back. I think 2021 will be that period of transition from we were happy days, everyone's partying, to, oh my God, you're stuck behind doors for a year. And then now let's start getting back. 2022, it's going to be happy days all over again, unless something happens.
Let's not talk about the unless, yes. Okay, now coming to the you are a very successful DMC. So if someone is to really get into the business, what is the aspect you think one should really pay attention to if one is to start getting into the DMC kind of business?
Okay, so advice number one, don't. God, there's so many, especially in India, because there's no licensing, there's no quality checks, there's nothing at all. So yes, our associations, IATO, TAI, have credible companies members, but the number of companies beyond that who have done damage to the destination reputation and fraternity reputation are much more. Globally, the reputation has been damaged by the pandemic of companies going bust. But if you do feel this is your calling, don't try to copy others. Okay? Specialize. Find a niche you're passionate about. Do you want to be an operator dedicated only to food, or only to religion, or only to museums? Do you want to be an operator who specializes only in textile tours, or only walking tours in bazaars? It could be anything. One of the things I've learned as over my 25-year journey is that size is not everything. As you grow, you also feel pain. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, big companies, big companies. It's a very common conversation in our industry, especially when some people want to make it political. Oh, the big companies will kill you. The big companies will do this. The big companies will take it away. I mean, the big companies have also taken the risk and made the investments. Okay? And the bigger you are, the harder you fall. Yeah. It's painful. Okay? Right. Being nimble, being sharp, and just focus on what you enjoy doing. Follow your passion, follow your love. That's the advice I would give now after working for 25 years.
Now, a slightly personal question, Rajeev. You know, I've read quite a few of your articles, and I think your writing style is brilliant. It's really great to read. In fact, every article I've read, it's like you're talking to me, not just addressing readers, a multitude of readers. So why don't we see a little bit more of writing from your side with your insights, your views?
Oh, there is quite a bit I've written. I've actually have 5 articles in the pipeline right now. This COVID has given one a serious writer's block. But I'm doing something interesting this week. I am on a class by a famous American influencer. It's a 5-day, it's a 1-week class. Today is my last class on this Friday. On how to be an influencer. And I said, yes, I want to be an influencer. I am an influencer. I mean, you refer to my pieces and you asked me on this interview because obviously, I have something interesting to say, if not everything. But I want to be an influencer within my industry. And I was thinking maybe video is a better modem to get the information out there. But yes, I do have 5 articles that are in the pipeline. And I have people in the media who have been hounding me for those articles. So we will see a lot more.
Great. That would be fun. Okay. And now, before we wrap up, Rajeev, you've traveled all over the world and you're a passionate traveler. So tell us 5 destinations which are a must go as a traveler, not as a tourist.
Croatia, mind-blowing. Okay. I love Thailand. And I love Thailand not for the Indian version of Thailand, but for the food, the hospitality. I could just go, and I have checked myself in the Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok and just spent 3 nights and not really gone to town. I've been to Iceland, which was amazing. Argentina, just explain. But my favorite place in the world is Mexico.
Mexico, okay. Mexico. Great. So I hope everyone's noted that down so that they can make their list to travel over the next few years. And finally, Rajeev, any parting comments for our viewers?
Well, look, folks, in travel, ups and downs happen. We as Indians, this is not the first crisis we've seen. I've done a lot of talking on crisis management around the world. And when I started doing that, I remember I was speaking in either Egypt or Turkey. Stopped their crisis. And 3 months after joining the company, we had the plague. We've gone through riots. We've gone through Bombay. We've gone through earthquakes. We've gone through floods. I mean, we've gone through more crap than any other country in the world. This is just one more. This is the first time it's where everybody's in the same boat with us. So listen, stay strong, stay safe. We will come out of this. If you let yourself get dejected in the dumps, then you will just end in the dumps. Be positive, watch a movie, have a drink, go to the temple, whatever floats your boat, but we will come through this all together as one.
Thank you, Rajeev. Thank you so much. That optimism is something which we all really require.
My pleasure.
So it's been a pleasure having a chat with you, and maybe we'll do a second round with you after some time because there's so much to learn from you.
Anytime.
Thank you very much, Rajeev, for all the time that you've given.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, we hope you enjoyed the show today. And if you did, please do share, subscribe, and like. And do leave your comments in the comments section. Thank you, and until next time, stay safe Take care.